Hello Sagittarius, this is your reading for March. I'm using my own tarot cards, my black and white duality tarot deck, and please excuse the bad lighting because, I don't know, it's super bright outside, but the sun is in a weird spot. I mean, the sun is probably in the right spot, but it seems that my window frames are a little bit in the way, so that's why, there's this weird contrast. So during March, I feel like especially in the beginning of March, there is some movement forwards. There is something because we are starting with integrity, and I feel like this is your energy. It could also be some kind of authority. Maybe you are going into some kind of authoritative position during March, but it's mainly speaking of how you feel towards yourself, how authentic you are, how much you're living what you're preaching. Also, integrity speaks of, integrating some old trauma, healing that, and, just being complete and authentic. And next to it we have the card flow and pregnancy, which is really a nice combination. Like there is something that is coming to fruition. It might not be born immediately, but it's already growing inside of the womb. I mean, for some this could be literally about a pregnancy, but not for everyone. Sorry, I have to suppress a sneeze. Okay, it's not coming. So the woman in the picture, she's also very pregnant with ideas, with numbers, letters, forms. It could be artistic, it could be inventing something. And because we have the flow card in the middle, it's just a good sign that things are moving forward, things are moving the way they are supposed to be, the way you want them to be. So this feels actually quite good. Then we have the ego card. And I'm not sure if this is someone or some situation in your environment, or if this is your energy, that maybe you are reflecting upon these things. Maybe you are reflecting upon a certain group of people, or about just how society is made. It could also be that you are wondering about your own so-called ego, that maybe you want to integrate and mature in a certain field of your life, or just in a certain aspect. That's what I'm getting here as well. I mean, pregnancy also speaks a little bit of maturing, because, when people become parents, unfortunately not always, but sometimes, then they are forced to mature and to become responsible. And then we have loss, together with the ego card. It could, just for some of you, really mean what I already said, that you might want to transcend something. Maybe you think that in a certain area you are a little bit selfish. I'm not saying that you are, please don't get offended. It's just what I'm reading in the card, that you might be thinking that of yourself for some of you, and you want to lose that pattern. For others, I feel like this loss card could indicate a small loss during March, not a big one. He's only losing here his ice cream, it's not like he's losing something drastically. So it's not a big deal. It could also be some kind of loss that brings in a renewal. Sometimes, it could also just be, let's say you have an old pair of shoes that's really old and it has a hole or several holes already, but you still wear them and you lose those old shoes and then you're finally forced to renew them. Because we have the spring card next to it, and spring always speaks of renewal. Something is being born, something old is fading out, something new is coming. So this is why sometimes life forces us to lose something so that we can receive something new. And I don't feel like, I'm not in the energy that you feel like super devastated about this small loss. So maybe you will immediately realize like, oh my God, finally this thing is broken or gone and now I can replace it. If I wouldn't have lost it, I probably would have worn these shoes for another year. Then we have wrong direction and imagination. So let me think. On one hand, I'm getting that some of you might think that maybe you had some imaginary stuff going on in your mind that you might realize during March, this is not actually what you want, this is not going to come true, and it's maybe even something childish or, just a fantasy that you might have your own realization like this is not the right direction to go. This is a fantasy. For others of you, I feel like these cards, it's just saying that the wrong direction is just being exposed to you. Maybe you have gone into a certain direction on a certain path, and then suddenly there will be a hindrance. It could also be related to this loss. But I don't feel any sadness on your side. It just feels like, oh, now I get it. Maybe, something is just, maybe your guidance or whatever is throwing you this hindrance in the way to show you that, no, you won't go any further in this direction because it's not the right path for you. And you will immediately realize that. And with the imagination card, for some of you, I'm also getting that it is not literally about imagination in general, but about some romantic fantasies. It could be that some of you might meet someone during March and, have this kind of crush. Like she's having this kind of crush. That's also a thing that I'm getting for some of you. So I feel like March is is a month of self-reflection. There is some growth, there is a movement forwards into the right direction, a lot of integrity, new ideas being born. Yet there is this small loss that will, lead you to the right path and to a rebirth or renewal of something. Like it will just force this renewal onto you. Now I'm going to pull some cards from my lifestyle deck. If there is something health related coming up, please do not properly rely on this tarot reading, but rather see a doctor. We have stretch, so maybe stretching might help you during March to relax, to stay in this kind of flow, in this kind of movement. Then we have strength training, so this is also something that could help you during March. Stretching and strength training, maybe this is a quite active month for you. For those of you who have overdone it, you know, some people run to the gym every day for several hours, and after a certain time it's not very healthy anymore. So if you're overdoing it, maybe this is a sign that you could rest a little bit more. Then we have doctor, so maybe, oh, it's below the pregnancy card, so maybe some of you are having some appointments at the doctor, or maybe it's just a reminder to get a new appointment if there's something that has been bothering you for a while and just doesn't go away by itself. Then we have gift. This could be you receiving a gift or you giving a gift. It's here above the projection card, and I said earlier that some of you might during March have a crush on someone. Maybe this person might give you a small gift. Or maybe, yeah, someone will give you a gift and it will make you go in this kind of energy, into this kind of vibe that she is in. A little bit enamored with something or someone. Okay, now I'm gonna pull some sarcastic animal messages. And we have sloth, I'm lazy and I know it. This is a bit contradictive, especially because I put it between the stretch and strength training card. So maybe this is something that you want to overcome during March and force yourself to be physically more active. Together with the lost card, maybe some of you want to lose some weight. We also have the spring card here, before spring and summer is coming. I'm not saying that people have to do that, but you know, some people want that. So maybe this message is for some of you. One more. Hawk, I'm watching you. Who's watching you? Actually, we have a lot of birds here. The wrong direction card and then the spring card. I feel like this is a spiritual card. Oh, this is your spiritual guidance watching you, because this bird is also here, some kind of metaphor or symbol. You know, like don't move into this direction, warning you with the wings spread. So this could really just be some kind of spiritual guidance in the non-physical world that is forcing you onto the right path, watching you constantly, bringing the small loss so that you are forced to receive this new thing or person, this new phase in your life. I'm also feeling like this spiritual guidance is feeding you without you being aware of it. Next one. The Jaguar. Almost everyone has this card. I'm a loner. So maybe a lot of zodiac signs during March just want to stay by themselves. Or at least spend a lot of time by themselves. even if you have a crush on someone. It's also very self-reflective for a lot of zodiac signs, so maybe a lot of people during March will start to think about certain things, or also start to plan on how to restructure their lives. And usually in those times of our lives, we prefer to be alone. So I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you for watching.